So in the latest events of the world of One Piece, we understand that there's actually a system of darkness. There's a system basically to how close you can get to Imu. And the system goes the shallow seas, and then the deep seas, and then the deep, deep seas. And all of those are basically contracts that you make with the devil, basically, of the world of One Piece, that I call Emo. And the deeper you get into those contracts, the deeper your connection is to Emu, the devil of the world of One Piece, and the deeper your power and strength is. And not just that, but also the more invincible you are. Because I believe that if you are, for example, on level 1 or level 2, you are, yes, invincible and all of that, but you are still able to age. But as soon as as you form a deep, deep sea contract with Imu, that's when you even stop aging. That's how we can get to see that Saint Garling basically was a God's Knight and all of that throughout his years and throughout all of his years and all of that. And when he actually joins the final contracts of the deep, deep sea, that's when he became a member of the Gorosei, and that's when now he's gonna stop aging, because other members of the Gorosei were present even like 200 years ago. So to tell me that even 200 years ago they were present and they had the same kind of figure, same body and everything, that's how I can justify that you can that you actually stop aging when you actually form the third contract, which is the deep, deep sea one. And from the latest chapters, we actually get King Harold that just got himself into the first stage, which is the contract of the shallow sea. And from that contract, he is now called a God's Steel. And he got that symbol on his arm. And so basically, King Harold became a lapdog, and he also became an assistant, basically, to the God's Knights in a way, and to Im-sama in a way too. And the more contracts you get, basically, into the deep, deep sea and all of that, the more you are bound fully to the true God. And from that perspective, you understand that the true God is Imu. And from that perspective, we also have a confirmation on how many individuals have those kind of contracts. So basically, on the first stage, the shallow seas, we basically can see that if somebody has that mark, that means they are in the first contract with Imu, the shallow sea. So in that first perspective, you've got King Harold, and from what we know now, Gunko. So Gunko also was on that same level, back in the day, and even on Elbaf and all of that, maybe. And on that same stage, we also got Figureland Shanks that actually joined Marie-Joie, all of that, and decided to join Emu and all of that. And he joined because he wanted maybe to get more information. And by joining, he made the first contract, which is the Shallow Sea contract. And by making that contract, he's also got that symbol, and that's on the arm that got eaten by the sea creature in the very beginning of One Piece. Literally, Eiichiro Oda can relate this point to this point so magically. You go like, damn, he is a genius for literally relating something that happened right now to something that happened in the very beginning of One Piece. Work of art, I am telling you. So from that perspective, we understand that Shanks, King Harold, and Gunko were at some point on that same level, and probably all of the other rest of the God's Knights and all of that. Like, if you want to become a God's Knight or a Gorosei member, you gotta in the beginning make a contract of the Shallow Sea. And then we are moving on to the members of the God's Knights. So we are in the second type of contract, the deep sea contract. And now we are getting actually into the juicy part where they know about the Great One, Emu, basically. And from that perspective, they know a little bit more about everything that's going on, because they have more of a relationship and a contract to Emu now. And in that perspective, they are basically families of the celestial dragons. And in those families, we've got the Shepherd family with Shepherd Summers. We've got Rimoshifu Killingham with the Rimoshifu family. We've got Satchel Maffey, so the Satchel family. And now we also got Gunko Mainmeyer with the Mainmeyer family. And we also have 4 more God's Knights that we just have the face of, but we don't know their names yet. For example, there's a woman, then there's a little kid, then there's like somebody that looks like a dragon slash monster creature, I don't know what to call it, and somebody else that looks kind of like a demon or something like that, you know, like a demon face or whatever. So from that perspective, we get to see that in total of the God's Knights, there are actually 8 members. So from that perspective of the whole 13 that we already have 8. And the last 5 that are missing, well, guess what? They are the Gorosei. So the Gorosei that are 5 and the God's Knights that are 8, you understand that the total is 13, and that's how we get those 13 people around the world that actually made that contract with the devil of One Piece. So that tells me 2 things. First thing is, Imu cannot use those powers all the time. Second thing, there's a limit to what Imu can actually do. That's at least a good sign, because yes, maybe she can control a person here and there, but that also tells me that there's a time limit on how much power she can give to somebody, like the darkness powers and all of that, to actually make somebody her own or whatever. Maybe, but in the amount of people that she can actually fully control and give powers to and all of that, maybe the number is very, very limited to like 13 or maybe 14, 15 at the craziest, you know? Also, not to forget about the Figureland family, where nowadays we've got the Supreme Commander Shamrock nowadays, and he was his daddy back then that was the Supreme Commander, which means Saint Garling, and that's when he became a member of the Gorosei. So now in the Gorosei, you've got Saint Marcus Mars, meaning the warrior god of environment, followed with Saint Topman Warkery, the warrior god of justice, followed with Saint Ethan Baron, the warrior god of finance, then the Saint Shepherd Jupiter, the warrior god of agriculture, and then the god of science that became Saint Garling. And so from the perspective of all of those levels, you understand that on the first level, there are going to be 5 people, the Gorosei, and they're the number of 5. So the first one is the Deep Sea Contract, followed with the second level, which is the Deep Sea Contract. And in those are actually the God's Knights that are coming from Celestial Dragon families and all of that. Followed by that, we've got the God's Steel, basically the third part, which is the Shallow Sea Contract, and in that one you are just considered a help, an assistant to everything that's going on, and you're not still getting there, but you're just getting maybe some powers here and there. And so on that note, guys, let me know what you think about this video. Let me know what you think about this whole system of shallow sea, deep sea, and then deep sea. What does it actually tell you about Imu? Because I can literally definitely say Imu is the god of water, or a devil god of water, or something like that. But probably a devil in the world of One Piece. So let's talk about it throughout in the comments below. Let's go. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and your boy's gonna see you in the next one. Peace.